Mark, we've been here many times over the last couple of years, but what can you say about that? Dominated the second half, probably gave yourself a little bit too much to do, but how have you not got a point out of this game at least?
Yeah, I'm sort of scratching my head as well, to be honest. I think we haven't done because, as you rightly said, you don't, coming in 2-0 down at half time, it's always going to be difficult. And I was very disappointed with the goals we gave away, particularly the second one. It was a really poor goal for us to concede. But in terms of general play again, and chances created second half, we were the dominant team, I felt, and I do feel as though we deserve something, but I think what we've got to do is not abandon our philosophy. We've got to try and make it better and keep working at it, because it's very frustrating, because a lot of what we're doing is very good, but and if you came and watched the game and the game was all about in between both boxes, we're the winners, but it isn't. We know that, and we conceded 2 poor goals second half, and give ourselves a lot to do. But like you said, I can't fault the lads' effort second half. We dominated the game. We've had one cleared off the line. Laurie Walker's pulled off a couple of fantastic saves, and I think all our goalkeepers had to do is just roll the ball out to start another attack for us. But we can't keep conceding sloppy goals, and at the moment that's costing us. So very frustrating. But there are positives to take out of the game, and we can't abandon all of the good things we're doing now, trying to search desperately for wins and then forget about our strengths. But we do appreciate it's about winning games of football. We know that we're a first team, not a development side, and we got to win. But we're close, and that's the frustrating thing. But we know we've had a chat in there. We think we know what we've got to do. Maybe we do need to bring a couple of players in to help the lads. I think at both ends of the pitch. And I'm going to be working very hard this week to see if I can do that. But it's not easy. We're looking in the loan market, and some pro clubs don't want to let their players out at the moment with things like the Checker Trade Trophy, and we've got to have a look. But we are working hard. We are looking to try and improve things. I think it is just sort of tweaking things rather than major surgery.
First half going in 2-0 down, but the stats of the game say that you dominated 10 corners. You had Hemel had just the one, and that second half it really was one-way traffic. As you mentioned, Craig King didn't have a save to make, and were you starting to get the impression, the feeling that it just wasn't going to go your way, even though Zach did pull one back for you?
Yeah, I think I said to the boys at half time, look, the next goal is obviously crucial. 2-1, it's a different dynamic in the game. They're going to start then sort of doubting a little bit, and the momentum should swing with us, and the momentum did swing with us. We've had enough opportunities. I think the one there that fell to Matt Patterson in the 6-yard box. He's obviously got to score that. He knows that. And that's the little things, isn't it? The stats that you're giving me there are great, but unfortunately the only stat that really matters is the final score, and we know that. And I'm very conscious about coming on and maybe not sort of being a little bit sort of overprotective of players, and saying about we've done so many good things, but I know that it's a results business. So we're not naive, we're not kidding ourselves, but we can't sort of look past all of the good things we are doing. As a club, we weren't set up to win the league or anything this year. We're trying to sort of do things a little bit differently. We're trying to sort of work and playing a different style of football to most teams at this level. But we've obviously got to marry that up with winning games of football, because we want to send our supporters away happy. But I think the supporters clapped us off there at the end, because they could see what a great effort we had, and that's nice to see. But me as the manager and the players in there, we find it very difficult to sort of smile and be positive when we're getting beat. And we know that's the sort of that is the be all and end all. But we've got an understanding club, we've got an understanding board, and they know what we're trying to do. So, but that doesn't stop us feeling disappointed when we lose games of football.
And Mark, 2 weeks ago, the Bath City game, you were quite outspoken about your players, and maybe some of them maybe lacking a little bit of desire and commitment. Today, you can't fault that, can you? There was 100% effort and desire from every player out there.
No, there was. We've got a good group in there. They're a good bunch of lads. But there's only so many times, I can sort of back them and say unlucky, because sometimes we just might need to sort of freshen it up and not so much replace these players, but help them. And I have been looking in the last couple of weeks and to try and bring a couple in, but it's easy to sort of get rid of players, if you like, but it's very difficult to replace them with better than what you've already got. Particularly in the sort of market that we're looking at. So we'll keep working at that. Obviously we've got to prepare now for an FA Cup game on Saturday against Dartford, which is a massive game for us as a club. We've got to get ourselves right, get together, and try and perfect the real good parts of the game, but just make sure we don't keep making silly errors. I mean, that second goal there, I think we've tried to play offside there, and if we just go with the runner there, we just deal with it. It's a straight ball down the channel from their centre half, and then the lad's in, cross across our box, and it's a goal, and that's just far too easy. And these are the things that are going to cost you. So that's where we are. We'll get ourselves together this week. We'll work like we always will, and we obviously FA Cup. We got good momentum in that competition, obviously with what we did last year, and got to congratulate Hemel. I don't want to, we have to give them credit. Well done to Darren, and Jordan there. They've beaten us, but I think most people watching the game today, whether you're Hemel or Oxford City fan, would sort of be wondering how we've not come away with at least a point today. Yeah.
And just a final comment. Good to see Rob Sinclair back on the field today. He had a good 70 minutes in his legs there. He's a key player, and I guess you're as delighted as the supporters to see him back and firing.
Yeah, well, we are. I mean, Rob's obviously, you're going to miss a player of Rob's quality at any level, and we're pleased to have him back. We've got to be careful with him. After about 60 minutes, he was starting to get a bit fatigued, and that's when the injuries can happen. Then he hasn't really done an awful lot of training, and he hasn't played for 6 weeks. But I felt it was important to get him out there today because he's a key player, and I just felt it would give some of the other players a bit of a boost. So good to have Rob back. We've got to sort of manage him now this week to make sure he's okay for Saturday. And see where we are.
And happy memories, as you said, in the FA Cup, and hopefully the run will continue next week, and then one more round if you can get through, and perhaps a first round game again.
Definitely, and that's what we'll be aiming to do. It's important for non-league clubs like ours. We know the financial rewards for the club. We did very well in terms of that last year, and not only that, but it's a great competition for the players to play in. And our aim, a club like ours, is always to try and get in the first round proper. We've got a hell of a lot of work to do before that. Dartford's a decent side. It probably, if we're being totally honest, wasn't the draw we really wanted, but we are at home. Our home record's been pretty good, and I'm sure that myself, the staff and the players will get together this week and get ourselves right and try and progress in the FA Cup.
Mark, thanks very much again for your honesty, and good luck for next week and the continuing of the season.
Thank you.